report. So are we still here in England? Are we operating under English common law? Is the nature of the country Christianity? Clearly not when it comes to Leveson. But let's remind ourselves that this was the man who several years ago was driving what was essentially, let's just come back, an assault on the press. And this ultimately resulted, of course, in press freedoms being absolutely curtailed as he pushed through what was supposedly reforms and protective measures for the public. Over the weekend, I was sent a reminder about this Telegraph report, which is back in 2011, how Labour's favourite lobbyist is pushing the hacking campaign. And this is when the Telegraph and indeed the Daily Mail were warning about the organisation Hacked Off and the lobbying groups that were clustered around Leveson, not least of which was the political charity Common Purpose, with the then Chief Executive Julia Middleton, who's featured on the right-hand column of that image on screen. Well, I just wanted to remind people that as we see further attacks on our common law and the jury system continuing, with Leveson, of course, one of the people at the helm of that attack, Common Purpose, or at least Julia Middleton, is still at work. And I found it interesting that she's now got an organisation called the Women Economic Forum, the WEF. And what is she doing? Well, she's working, amongst other things, with women emerging from isolation, but she's also back focusing on young people to make them into future leaders. And although it's small print, highlighted in the centre of this article is Europe 101, which she's also involved in. And if we have a little look at that, we discover that essentially this is to engage and increase accessibility for young people, young participants, and they're going to equip those young people with the networks and skills so that they can become agents for change. Now, remember, these young people highly susceptible to this type of reframing, but they are going to become Julia Middleton's agents for change. And if we can just pop that one back on screen for a second. Look on the right, because there's a very interesting quote here. It says, "Liquids fill any shape and turn to vapor or ice." Well, okay. They seep into every corner. They collect, converge, combine. They go fast or they go slow. They keep moving. They flow, adapt, evolve. Ours is a liquid leadership. Spelling is from the original website, flowing between us as a generation. So this is what Julia is still up to, which is recruiting young people and training and reframing them to become agents for change. The change is never declared, but here is the Europe 101 initiative as advertised by Ambassador Schools, which is closely linked into the European Union. And if we just have a look at a bit more detail about this organisation, she founded it with a gentleman called Gordon Bajanai in 2021. And if you go and check that name, you will find that you're straight into enormous wealth and hedge funds. So we've got hedge funds and young leaders, and we simply ask the question, what could possibly go wrong? So we are definitely seeing all the same people in the background doing their works to force through a change agenda. But of course, the population in UK or other Western democracies are never told what the final destination of that change is. Before we discuss that in a bit more